Rana Basharat Ali Khan. Attacks on unarmed civilians in Palestine are a grave crime against humanity. Rana Basharat Ali Khan, chairman of the International Human Rights Movement, expresses profound concern over the escalating violence in the occupied West Bank, particularly the recent Israeli military operations in and around the Jenin refugee camp. Reports indicate that these operations have involved disproportionate use of force, including airstrikes and shootings targeting unarmed residents, resulting in the deaths of at least 12 Palestinians and injuries to over 40 others, among them medical personnel. As the occupying power, Israel holds a legal obligation under international law to protect civilians living under occupation. The international human rights movement emphasizes that all killings in a law enforcement context must be thoroughly and independently investigated, and those responsible for unlawful actions must be held accountable. The persistent failure to hold security forces accountable not only violates international obligations but also risks perpetuating a cycle of violence. The ongoing violence has displaced over 3,000 families in Jenin, disrupted essential services such as water and electricity, and led to the closure of major entrances to Palestinian cities, severely restricting movement and paralyzing daily life. Additionally, there has been an alarming increase in settler attacks on Palestinian villages and the destruction of property, further exacerbating tensions in the region. The international human rights movement calls for an immediate cessation of violence in the West Bank and urges all parties, including influential third states, to take decisive action to ensure peace is achieved in the region. We reiterate the call for Israel to halt settlement expansion and evacuate all settlements, as required by international law. In light of recent developments, including the release of hostages and prisoners under the ongoing Israel-Hamas ceasefire, it is imperative to seize this moment to foster dialogue and work towards a sustainable resolution that upholds the rights and dignity of all individuals involved. The international human rights movement remains steadfast in its commitment to advocating for justice, equality, and the protection of human rights for all individuals, regardless of their background or affiliation.